As our living wall wakes up into its third growing season, I thought it'd be really nice to share an update before it really leaves out, before it really gets going, and just give folks an idea of what's working, what feels promising, and what kind of little issues we have. So I'm just walking down the driveway here and coming down to the road. One thing I just wanted to point out, this is just a stunner to me. There's a new variety of dwarf sour cherry we're working with called Joel. It's not the most exciting name, but my God, look at all the flowers on there. So hopefully that gets pollinated and this whole thing should be covered in really intense little cherries. Side note, we'll see if we can propagate that and offer it through the website. But one thing I wanted to show, this is third year in the curly willow wall. We're very early in the season, so it's not very dense yet, but there are some areas where the foliage is starting to really thicken up. And as you may know from watching previous videos, this is the canopy layer of the west side of our wall. So in other words, this will be ultimately the tree layer in here. And one thing you can see that I've done is I went through and pollarded back the tallest elements this winter to stimulate thicker, bushier growth. We're focusing on trying to get the densest part of this willow to be at around 6 to 8 feet. I'm 6 feet tall, and you can see why I would want that. That band is basically where the vast majority of where we'd see and hear traffic. So we're trying to thicken that part up, and it's responding really nicely. I cut these a few weeks ago, and already they're putting on new growth. By the fall, these might be 5 feet tall. We'll cut them back again, and that should be a really nice way to thicken that up. Underneath, what we're seeing, the elders are just beginning to wake up. They should really be able to take off. They were new as of last year, so they're sending up lots of new shoots. Surprisingly, the rhubarb this year really starting to do well for itself. And valerian, which isn't a woody, potent visual block, but is a great nutrient accumulator and ground covering herbaceous plant, is starting to really thrive. You'll also notice, very subtle, later in the season it should be a lot more interesting. I transplanted in a whole bunch of seedling Schisandra, Wu Weiju, the 5 flavors fruit. It's a shade-tolerant Zone 3 hardy vine. My goal is to actually get a vining element. If we're going for food forest design, it's going to be interesting to see this really strong woody vine growing through all of this. And again, as per usual, pardon the sound of the road while I'm talking, but that's the inspiration for doing all this work. And the poplar element is starting to wake up nicely. And another vining element we've added in this year is Hablitzia, Caucasian mountain spinach, which also during the summer months will create this really thick, green, luscious vine. And it's a little sparse in here. That is mainly because it's directly north of this huge tulip poplar, which is crowding out for light and also nutrient access. When I dig down in here, it's filled with roots from that tulip poplar. But it's working out well enough. The blue false indigo bush is starting to leaf out. When we revisit this in a month or two, these gaps should be a lot more filled. But this is a distinct area that I need to fill in with more material. But again, this is the beginning of just the third year with this, and it's a long-term project, really. On this side, the eastern side, we talked about this recently where Sasha and I came through, cut back all the old miscanthus and wove it into our fence. So it's great, even the dead stalks of the miscanthus act as a near 100% visual barrier. That's with it not even being growing yet. It's doing some really amazing work. I mean, from certain angles you can't even see the road. So there would be a dead fence, but came from the living fence, and certainly a short commute to come from those stalks and be woven in. Now, miscanthus is one of those plants. It's a real warm weather perennial plant, and if you were just scanning through here, you'd think, oh, I'm just looking at a row of comfrey, which you are, but as it warms up and as the sun energy increases, they're just beginning to grow. They're only 3-4 inches tall, but when I revisit this in a month, it should be pretty crazy how many there are. You can see, if you look down the line, all these little red and green spikes starting. In fact, you can see here, they expanded quite a bit. Here's some shoots. This is where the clump was, and it's moved out to here. So it had a really happy year last year. Very subtle, but boy, once they start, they really take. And you can see in this area, the elder is starting to green up. This should really take off this year. Our giant perennial sunflower tufts are beginning. They'll get 8 to 10 feet tall. And then one of the real winners, but it's also kind of a feral, it's a challenge of designing with a vining element in a system, perennial vining element. The hops are a real wild card. Every few days I have to come out and say, look hops, remember there's a fence? Because they'll come over and they'll say, ooh, aronia, let me climb on that. Or ooh, a smoke bush, let me climb on that. And so that's a kind of constant management struggle in a fun way. So we'll just keep suggesting that they align them. Once they're on the fence in a real way, they commit to it. And they should be to the top of the fence within a month or so. And one challenge, if you are interested in growing hops, if you have really fertile soil, expect to see them shooting up everywhere. So we'll dig this up in the fall for sale or for transplanting, but you can see how these hops really spread, and they're starting to come into some red currants and Nanking cherries in a way that could be a challenge. If I wanted to design this and not have to interact with it, hops would not be an appropriate candidate. But they're going to fill out really quickly, really beautifully. You can see they're about 3 feet tall there. Once they get to the other side, they should really thicken up. So all in all, you know, it's subtle right now. It's just starting to creep and go. But with this warm weather and a couple good days of heavy rain, which should be coming up, I can expect this to explode. So I thought it'd be neat to show folks, you know, the waking up process of a young living wall in early spring. Throughout the season, we'll document. And my goal, and I think this year we will hit it, is from at least within the chicken yard. My goal is that at the end of the season, there will be nowhere that you can look through this entire fence line that you can see the road. I'm being realistic. Obviously, we will hear the road. You can hear it very clearly right now. But if we can at least not see it, that's a step forward. And let's see if that is something we can achieve. I'd love to do it all with plants, and my gosh, they're beautiful and they do so many other layers of good work. So that's the living wall. We'll come back and do some more updates talking about our front yard converted over to nursery and perennial propagation space later on. But for now, let the living wall continue. Hope you're having a great spring. Bye.